There will be a full moon in Libra on March 27, 2013 at 2:28 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5:28 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and 9:28 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Time to clean up and weigh out how much we value balance and order in our lives with the scales of the Mother Goddess Ma'at that vibrate through the scales of the zodiac, Libra. Libra represents the scales of Astraea, which incarnate on the path of the sun known as the ecliptic. Through this month's luminous blast of the full moon, the energy of Venus, the mighty Aphrodite, dances upon Earth, inspiring us to look closely at the freedom that equilibrium can provide in our daily lives. Now that the sun has moved into the ramtastic sign of our cardinal leader Aries, the action-oriented pioneering spirit of Mars seeks divine union with the original goddess on a mountain top that we affectionately call Venus. This union of opposites represents male and female energies, positive and negative, night and day, and an infinite assembly line of cosmic characteristics that complement and accentuate one another. Such polar opposites are the co-creative forces that power the engine of creation and consciousness. This creative consciousness helps to merge the wonders of quantum mechanics and tangible science with the more abstract ethereal world of metaphysics. This symbiotic process of oscillation creates a coherent wave of manifestation born from desire, inspiration, and dreams. The full moon is a time of evaluation, maintenance, and fruition. It is the peak of the emotional lunar cycle that began 14 days prior with the birth of the new moon. Why is this important, you ask? This current moon cycle began with a stellium in Pisces. A stellium is just a shortcut word that astrologers use to describe when there are 3 or more planets in one zodiac sign on the ecliptic. In natal chart astrology, this can also mean that there are 3 or more planets in one house. Since there were 7 cosmic bodies in Pisces, including Chiron, many people experienced a tidal wave of emotion and challenges that forced most of us to learn to float or go with the flow. For those with a lot of cardinal signs in their chart, such as Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, this is a particularly challenging time. Cardinal signs are used to starting events, not simply enduring hardships. People with a lot of fixed signs in their natal chart, such as Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, had to adjust their sense of stubbornness and resistance to change and bend like bamboo or expect to be broken. Those with a wealth of mutable signs in their chart, such as Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, had a slight advantage in this moon cycle. Those with an abundance of mutable signs in their chart are a lot more flexible, versatile, and dynamic when it comes to dealing with the unexpected. But if you have any fixed signs in your natal chart, you might still be fighting. So while many of you experienced a cosmic kick in the head or a heavy and hopeless heart, look closely at what you learned and how you evolved from your challenges. Now is the time to rejoice as the eye of cosmic consciousness opens wide to take in all of the prismatic and primal Piscean energy. This Atlantean wisdom is being downloaded through the 3 prongs of Neptune's trident. Since Mercury came out of retrograde on March 17th, expect this month's divine union of Mars and Venus to be downloaded on a broadband frequency that may go beyond our collective understanding of the electromagnetic spectrum. The cosmic magician will reach the point where he went retrograde around April 7th, clearing and clarifying the trans-dimensional matrix of communication and boosting the creative flames of action and creation heralded by Aries the Ram. Aries arrives in the spring in the northern hemisphere, while Aries represents the arrival of fall for our friends down under in the southern hemisphere. Saturn, the way shower and father of time, remains retrograde in the sign of Scorpius to ensure that we develop the stamina and tenacity necessary to successfully triumph at life when this titan of time moves into the expansive and fiery sign of Sagittarius. Libra is the ruler of the 7th house of the zodiac ecliptic that rules marriage and partnership of all varieties. The goddess of love does not discriminate in its discernment for those who can have a successful relationship, provided that both parties show dedication to resolving all conflict with authentic, honest, and sincere efforts. Libra wants you to focus on the leadership aspects of the intellect and communication that emphasize unity and diplomacy of the collective over the selfish pride and ego of individualism. Since the full moon is in Libra, that means the sun is in the initiating cardinal force of Aries the Ram. The combination of Aries' fiery, creative, and pioneering spirit tempered with Libra's carefully measured and balanced structure form a cosmic horn of cornucopia that moves all of humanity forward through the pipelines of progress. During the full moon in Libra, there is a stellium in Aries. For some of us, this will occur in the first house, creating a greater spike of action and creativity. If there was ever a time to expect the unexpected, it would be now. Uranus in Aries conjoins the sun this week, creating flashes of courage and creativity. Since energy is never created nor destroyed, expect that some things in your life may dissolve, only to be reassembled in another form that will move your life forward. In astrophysics, Venus is the second planet from the Sun with an orbit of about 224 Earth days and a rotation of about 243 Earth days. This beautiful and hot planet has huge volcanoes and a planetary spin that is opposite of the other planets in the solar system. On planet Venus, the Sun rises in the west and sets in the east. In Astrolosophy, the Iliad epic written by Homer suggests that Venus is one of the 12 Olympian gods of the Dodecatheon, making Venus a child of Jupiter with Dion. In Hesiod's Theogony, Venus, or Aphrodite as she is known in Greece, claims that Aphrodite arose out of the sea foam after Zeus castrated Kronos. Venus is the Roman goddess of love, beauty, pleasure, and procreation. She is known by many names among many cultures all over the world. Some of her names include Aphrodite, Ixchel, Astarte, Hathor, Freya, Ishtar, the Morrigan, and the goddess Isis, just to name a few. Venus rules over Friday and the zodiac signs Taurus and Libra. The universally recognized symbol for women is called the Mirror of Venus, and it is the infinite circle of spirit above the finite cross of material reality. Libra is the 7th house on the zodiac ecliptic and represents one of the original 48 constellations documented by Ptolemy. Libra shares a mythology with both Scorpius and Virgo and has influence on all interpersonal and diplomatic communications. Persons born under the sign of Libra are usually diplomatic, loving, caring, insightful, fair-minded individuals with a strong sense of integrity and ethics. People that are close to Librans tend to see their weighing of details as being indecisive. It is recommended that you consider focusing on the fact that Librans have the courage to take the time and energy necessary to ensure that all matters receive the proper attention so that they are resolved effectively. Never mistake Libra's kindness for weakness, as an unbalanced Libra has the emotional force of the volcanoes of Venus and the wisdom of the sacred feminine at their command. Since Venus rules Libra, her association with Ishtar, Astarte, the jaguar Ixchel, and Freya, the queen of the Valkyries, makes her nimble and graceful enough to switch channels from peace to war if it becomes necessary. Libras tend to have their Mercury, Venus, or Mars in the warrior sign of Scorpio, so do not press your luck. This season, the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine unify in a cauldron of co-creation that will dismantle the limitations of the past. A co-creation that will collectively build new ways of perceiving and living life, provided that your heart is open to the change of divine union. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Time for a new attitude. Yes, it's time to surf the silvery slipstream of light and magnetism that make up the magical meridians in the solar symphony of action and creativity. With Uranus the Awakener dancing in alignment with the Sun and Venus, the powerful pace of pragmatic prudence is now linked with the dynamic impromptu forces of the tetrahedron fire sign continuum. This union advances the 30 deeds of destroying old systems for new ones. This means that the still, dark Neptunian waters of Pisces are slowly being replaced with the supersonic, transluminal, and heavenly creative force of the fiery emperor of the zodiac, Aries. As the solar plexus chakra transmits a tone of drive that inspires creativity and networking, Libra's Venus-ruled approach polarizes all efforts through the cosmic fovea of love and partnership. This muse-like inspiration will create opportunities to work on your dreams and aspirations in a social and co-creative manner that will be of benefit to yourself and for those in your community. Since the Aries Sun opposed the Libra Moon, you may be experiencing a tug-of-war between those that want instant gratification and those who want to reach their goals in a balanced approach with results that can be measured and sustained. This is an excellent time to be competitive with yourself about how much change you can anticipate and accept. This is an opportunity to measure how long you can be patient with yourself and others in the present in an all-out effort to reach your long-term goals. Aries' drive and wisdom teaches us the value of being first, while the Ram continually strives to figure out how to wait patiently for everyone else to catch up. The provocative pioneering spirit of Aries supercharges the stellium of planets aligned with the Sun. This alignment of more than 3 planets in Aries facilitates the freedom to do it in your way without even a thought about the opinions of others. So while your ideas and approaches may be the most productive, be prepared to accept the consequences if the results don't manifest immediately. Leo drive and wisdom teaches us the value of socializing the development and personalizing the accomplishments both individually and collectively. So make sure to listen and acknowledge the ideas of everyone that you enlist in your battle efforts to beat the clock when finishing your project as spring kicks into light speed. Use the theatrics and fanfare of Leo to recognize all of the regal regions that are the key to success in the kingdom of this ruler of Regulus. Sagittarius drive and wisdom teaches us the importance of the ever-expanding big picture and necessity of minding the details. With the supercharged magnetic spin of spring in the northern hemisphere, events have begun to move at a speed that will cause lots of stress, anxiety, and uncertainty if you are not expecting change. The key is to keep your aim focused on the noon position of the astro clock. The download of the full moon in Libra helps to balance the aim of your bow and reward you with the precision of the scales of the Libra archetype known as the Mother Goddess Ma. Expansion, grounding, and healing create the cyclical theme of the cosmos as we pick up speed moving towards this season's solstice. Stay active, but make sure you get plenty of rest so that you can maximize on the healing properties of the fire sign continuum as it streaks across the ecliptic in the chariot of fire, driven by Aries the Ram and Uranus the Awakener, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. The hypercube of the hexahedron is almost at its heavenly height now that spring has arrived. The fire of Earth leader, Capricorn, fired the first blast of renewed strength and dedication towards individual and collective goals. So while you are in a state of all work and no play, listen to the wisdom of the Libra moon as it whispers lessons of pace, temperance, and balance in your ears so that you don't burn out. After all, what is the use of all that practical and pragmatic planning if you are too tired to do everything you work so hard to create? Taurus, the vector equilibrium of the Earth sign continuum, arrives in April, heralding the height of spring and the inspiration of Aphrodite and all of the muses. This fixed energy will emphasize your ability to endure tough times and reach your goals. So while you remain intent on being productive, remember that being fixed in your nature means that you must stay aware of your resistance to changes in your life. Perhaps now is the time to adopt an honest policy of being resistant to not changing and instead seek out changes with each approaching season. Like the 5 elements of Chinese medicine, each cycle of change creates something new and sustainable while regulating and blocking the elements in the body and mind that are not as helpful. With the